All right. We are on the air. What's up, everybody? Okay, I gotta add in the thumbnail. My computer is so slow. My computer is so slow, folks. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the broadcast. You guys read the title. I don't want anybody getting too scared or paranoid from the title of this video. I'm going to be explaining what it's all about in a moment. I hope that the stream is running smooth. Okay, it's saying 10 out of 10 connection. I hope that means that you guys could see and hear me well. Twisted Sunrise KI, how's it going, man? Okay, type a 1 in the chat if you could hear me well. I hope to see a lot of ones. Because, yeah, even just making the thumbnail and setting the stream up takes so long. Like, I'm trying to load my YouTube studio right now and just going around in circles and circles and circles. So yeah, please, if you could hear me loud and clear, if there's no issues. Gary with the 1, I appreciate you. That's good to hear. Okay, we're taking a look at a documentary today titled Why is American Food So Toxic? And it's not just American food, folks. It's Canadian food. American food and Canadian food is taking a look at how disgusting a lot of it is with GMO food, genetically modified. You think you're eating healthy because you're eating fruit. Little do you know, or you may know, but little do you probably know that fruit that you're eating isn't real fruit. That's not a real cherry. If it doesn't have a pit in the middle, it's not real. It was made in a lab. Do I sound crazy? Maybe I do, but we're going to take a look at this documentary. Share this out like crazy. I just got to add the thumbnail on YouTube and then we'll start cooking. The show is getting so big now I can't even go around in public without people coming up to me saying, "Hey, are you that kid on Facebook or YouTube?" I can't even go anywhere anymore, folks. So it's getting big. I'm just kidding. I've been recognized like twice. I don't know why I just said that. But we'll get there one day. We'll eventually get there to the point where I can't go anywhere without people running up to me and asking me if I'm that kid online. Wouldn't that just be something? I don't even know if I'd like that, to be honest. Even the pets food, yeah, GMO pets food as well. So I want to give a shout out to the documentary maker. His name is Jake Tran. I reacted to his documentary before, the Why Men Are Becoming Weaker. You guys may remember that documentary that I reacted to, Why Men Are Becoming Weaker. That was made by the same guy, Jake Tran. Now, did my thumbnail update? I don't know. I hope so. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys right now with this long ass intro. I ask that you guys bear with me because this is an important one today, folks. This is important. This is really important stuff. This is shit that they don't talk about in the mainstream media, like, at all. This gets zero coverage. They don't talk about this in schools, don't talk about this on the news. That's why I have to come along and inform you guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about this stuff, but there's probably a lot of people who watch me who don't know about this stuff. And I gotta let y'all know. That's my duty. I gotta know. The food that you're eating is most likely taking years off your life. I'm not even kidding. So, let me just check my phone if the thumbnail updated. I am really... Well, I'm not that sorry because it's not really my fault, but I do apologize for the long start to the stream. If you're watching the replay, maybe just skip ahead a little bit. Okay. Is the thumbnail updated? I don't know, folks. Share this out. Like this video. I'm going to put it on my community tab real quick. Alright, God bless you all. I appreciate you for waiting. Thank you all for having patience. The people who watch me actually have really good attention spans. Majority of the people in the world have horrible attention spans. The people who watch my channel, I take pride in this fact that the people who watch me actually have above average attention spans. That makes me happy to see. So is the thumbnail added? It's saying it is on the YouTubes too. Is it really? Who knows? It still looks like it's my channel banner. Okay, you know what? We're just going to roll with it, whatever. Facebook's fine. Okay, so this is the documentary. Why is American food so toxic? Again, want to give credit where credit's due. The channel is called Jake Tran. So I'll just leave that on the screen for a moment. Jake Tran, he's got a lot of good documentaries that I'm probably going to take a look at in the future on this channel. So shout out to my boy Jake Tran. Not really my boy, never met him, don't know him. He's got some good content. We're going to take a look at this. Now, as soon as I click play on the video, I gotta know if you guys can hear.
Weeds, no problem. Kill weeds and...
Wait, one sec. I gotta put my headphones on. Share this out like crazy. I'm not gonna read that last comment I got on YouTube trying to get me canceled. Okay, share this out like crazy and let me know if you guys can actually hear the video.
grasses, roots and all.
Hear the video. What the hell? One sec. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this all over again. Okay, I know what I did wrong. Learning from my mistakes. To remove source and then add it back. Give me a sec, folks. I do that so often. I've been streaming for so long and I still make the exact same mistake on like 25% of my streams. Okay, we're back. I'm sure you guys can hear it in the first place, but now I'll be able to hear it too. So let me know. Type a 2 in the chat if you guys could hear the video starting right now.
Weeds, no problem. Kill weeds and grasses, roots and all with a shot.
Last time I reacted to one of this guy's documentaries, I got a copyright thing. So I'm hoping I don't get copyright. I don't know why. I think it was because some music in the video. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that. Okay, 2 in the chat if you guys hear the video. I see a bunch of 2s. Shout out everybody, let me know with the 2s. Wow, okay, we got a lot of people watching already. Let's run up the numbers, folks. Share this out like crazy. Like the stream. Facebook goes crazy. I'm sure that this is going to get thousands of views on Facebook. This is something that a lot of people need to see. Let's let the world know about the dangers of what you're putting into your body. Share this out like crazy. And smash that like button.
Out of Roundup for driveways, patios, fences. Make weeding easy. Roundup not kills weeds better.
Over the years, our hospitals and courts have witnessed some major public health scandals, tobacco and asbestos being two of the largest and most enduring. Well, right now, a new storm is emerging, and incredibly, the culprit may just be sitting on a shelf in your backyard shed. But the herbicide glyphosate, the main ingredient in weed killer Roundup, probably causes cancer.
A California man dying.
I already know this dramatic music is gonna get me copyrighted. You know, I don't even care. It's not about the money. It's not about the monetization. Screw it. We don't need it.
Of cancer just appeared in court claiming a popular weed killer made him sick.
A California jury awarded nearly $300 million to a
300
former
mil.
school groundskeeper who sued Monsanto.
300 mil. Damn.
Claiming its weed killers, including Roundup, gave him non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Created by chemical giant Monsanto, Roundup is the most widely used weed killer on Earth. Sprayed on everything from gardens to footpaths to fields of crops. It is quite simply everywhere.
In August, a landmark court case blew wide open the question whether Monsanto's Roundup products are safe.
He was using a sort of pressure hose sprayer, so he was spraying 150 gallons every morning. And so his exposure was pretty extreme. And prior to his exposure, his skin was perfect. He was healthy. He had no other chemical exposures. But within 2 years after starting this sort of massive spraying, he developed this incredibly aggressive.
This shit is so sad. They can't even show it on YouTube. It says too graphic for YouTube. This is incredibly sad. That's why it's my duty to share this with you guys. I know a lot of you already know about this stuff, but a lot of you don't, so it's the whole purpose for this. Again, I don't want to be a broken record, but just all I ask is that you share this video.
Cancer that, ultimately is going to take his life.
Wow.
In July 2001, our family took a vacation. We ended up eating 3 hamburgers before he got sick. We started to see blood in Kevin's diarrhea, so we took him to the emergency room, and they said kidneys were starting to fail. To watch this beautiful child go from being perfectly healthy to dead in 12 days, that this could happen from eating food.
Cut fruit, cut cantaloupe, strawberries, caramel apples, tomatoes, onions, chicken. All these products are likely contaminated.
It's the food that you think is healthy too. You think you're being healthy by eating fruit. Like I said earlier in the stream, you may think you're healthy because you're eating fruit, but that fruit that you're eating may not even be real fruit. Okay, if it says GMO, or I don't even know if it has to say GMO, but if it is GMO, it's not even real fruit. That's not a real strawberry that you're eating. That's a genetically modified strawberry that you're eating. Scary stuff, folks. I'd say 90% of the food in grocery stores too is GMO. And I can't talk about this without saying that I do it too. Okay, I gotta take accountability. I also eat GMO food because the organic food is damn expensive. It's worth it though. It's worth the investment in your health. It really is. And when I'm older and I have my own money, I'm gonna get organic food only because GMO. I mean, this video is gonna show it better than I could say, but it's not good for you at all.
I ate a salad and now I have long-term health effects from it.
Monsanto is the world leader in biotechnology. 90% of the GMOs grown on the planet belong to them.
In Europe, only 5% of the food is genetically modified. Here, it's 70%.
Since welcoming agro-giant Monsanto into the country in 1996, Argentina has become the world's largest soybean producer. Today, nearly 100% of its soy crop is genetically altered.
GMO stands for genetically modified organism. Basically what it is food made in a laboratory. Until the last 20 or 30 years, this is food that has never existed before in humanity. So it's made in a laboratory, and more often than not, they're inserting viruses or bacteria into these plants.
Most of them have been genetically modified.
Sorry to pause it again. I see one comment here that says never eat corn or soy. What's wrong with corn? I know about soy, but what's wrong with corn? I thought that corn was okay. I didn't hear anything about corn. You learn something new every day. I appreciate you, Goretti. Please explain, though, further in the comments what's wrong with corn, because I didn't know that.
To resist the application of Roundup, like Roundup Ready soybeans.
In that they create a seed that is resistant to the types of chemicals that they want to apply to them. So, for example, Roundup Ready corn is resistant to Roundup, which is the chemical that goes on it, or glyphosate, which is actually called.
That corn, you could pour glyphosate on.
Oh, because it's always GMO? Most GMO'd food? I actually did not know that because I've actually had corn for dinner like 2 nights in a row. I love corn. I guess I'll take that to note in the future though. That's crazy.
All over it, and it will do nothing. Everything dies except the Roundup Ready corn.
Close to 100% of conventional farmers use Roundup to some extent. It's essential. We don't have an alternative to glyphosate in the system at the moment.
Monsanto's GMOs have inundated the world, principally in North and South America, Asia, and Australia. After only 10 years, transgenic crops now cover 250 million acres.
Since 1974, we've put on 1.6 billion kilograms, more than 3.5 billion pounds on crops in the United States alone. It's on 70 different food crops, including corn, soy, canola, wheat. So if you eat a slice of bread, a bowl of Cheerios, a sushi roll, a plate of pasta, slice of pizza, a chicken nugget, Cheerios have more glyphosate per serving than vitamin D and vitamin B12.
Arpad Pustai, world-renowned scientist, lost his job when he warned about GE Foods.
We were dismissed for disobedience.
They fired us.
For the last 20 or 30 years, Monsanto has engaged in a systematic and deliberate campaign to attack any science that says their product is not safe and to attack any scientist that has the courage to say something. They have a corporate culture that has zero interest in safety and has only an interest in maintaining the ability of them to sell this product.
It is the safest herbicide that's ever been developed. It has just an amazing record of not just productivity and use, but also the extent to which it has been examined and scrutinized and studied over 40 years.
Roundup was always marketed as incredibly safe, as so much safer than any other herbicide on the market. You know, some of the early salespeople would say, it's safe enough to drink, safer than table salt.
You can drink a whole quart of it and it won't hurt you.
You want to drink some? We have some here.
I'd be happy to, actually, but not really, but...
If you say so, I have some glyphosate.
No, I'm not stupid.
Tell the truth.
It's not dangerous to humans. No, it's not.
So are you ready to drink one glass of glyphosate?
No, I'm not an idiot.
Wow, I was kind of just dozing off for a while, and then I snapped back to reality to see this two-faced liar. Damn. Holy contradictions, man. It's safe for humans, but I'm not going to drink it because I'm not an idiot. Oh my gosh. And soy. Soy is highly estrogenic too. If you are a man and you want no testosterone, eat a whole bunch of soy. That will just ruin you. You'll be tired, fatigued. You won't have the energy to go out and do shit. If you are a man and you want to just ruin yourself, eat soy. That's the number one most estrogenic food, I believe. Crazy. Folks, we have 54 people watching across both Facebook and YouTube. Continue to share this, please. Let's get the numbers up. This is something that so many people need to see. It's honestly, like, I'm very grateful for everybody here who is watching, but it's kind of a crime that there's other people who on TikTok, there's girls who shake their ass and get thousands of viewers, but I'm talking about food that literally kills you, that the mainstream media won't cover, and we got 53 people watching. I'm grateful for you 53 beautiful souls watching, but honestly, in my opinion, we need at least a couple hundred people in here because this is huge. Share this like crazy if you also believe in this. We need to get this out there.
Idiot. I'm not an idiot.
If you go down the history of the sort of really bad chemicals, pesticides in US society or even world society, every single one of them has its origins in Monsanto. I mean, for the last 150 years, whether it be DDT, PCBs, Agent Orange, dioxin. I mean, Monsanto has been behind those. Monsanto has effectively made a business out of poisoning people and getting away with it.
If my life were a Superman comic, Monsanto would be Lex Luthor.
So you're Monsanto in the early 1970s, and you've run into a little problem. The key ingredient in your flagship product, Agent Orange, had just been banned.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting copyright for this music, though. Folks, on YouTube and Facebook, you could send super chats if you want to support the stream. Facebook, I believe, is called Stars, and on YouTube, there is the super chat button. Obviously, you don't have to. I'm just throwing that out there as an additional way that you can support the stream if you like what I'm doing and like what I'm sharing, but nobody has to. Please do not feel obligated to do so. I'm just pointing that out as an option if you want to further help support me.
Yeah, that Agent Orange, which meant you were left looking for a new bestseller. Enter glyphosate.
Glyphosate, it was originally developed as a tank scalant. So to scale the calcium and other deposits, metal deposits, rust deposits from the inside of, underground tanks. And in 1973, Monsanto had to stop producing DDT. That was its flagship product. It needed another product. And it figured out that glyphosate, somebody at some point apparently threw some glyphosate on the, out in the back in the yard, and everything green died where they touched it. And so somebody said, oh, this will be a good herbicide because it kills all plants.
Thanks to glyphosate, you were able to create Roundup, the environmentally friendly Agent Orange.
Originally, Monsanto developed it as a herbicide, but the way that it was applied initially from 1973 to 1993 was in backpack sprayers. So guys would walk down the cornfields early in the season when the corn was competing with nearby weeds for sunlight, and they would shoot the individual weeds. Then in 93, somebody figured out a way that glyphosate, there was certain bacteria that glyphosate would not kill. And they said we could take a gene out of that bacteria and put it into a corn seed and develop a corn that cannot be killed by glyphosate. So they developed Roundup Ready corn. And that corn, you can pour glyphosate all over it and it will do nothing to it.
And within just a few short years, you had gone from selling a powerful weed killer to selling a weed killer and weed killer resistant seeds for crops like corn and soy.
So now you could fire all of those workers.
That's actually crazy about corn, though. Like, I've literally eaten corn for dinner, like, the last 2 days in a row. That is horrible. I honestly didn't even know that. So, that's the thing. You have to be ultra weary of the stuff that you're putting in your body, because it is actually really, really hard to avoid. Like, this stuff is everywhere. GMO is everywhere. It's probably the hardest thing to avoid, but it's the most worth it for your health. To try your best. Obviously, you probably can't avoid this stuff 100%, but just do your best. Cut back, try your hardest to avoid GMO food, and I guess corn, or non-organic corn at least, and especially soy. That's the main one. Avoid soy, especially if you're a man and you value your testosterone levels, because soy is highly estrogenic.
Who are expensive, and you hire one airplane and they fly over the fields, they saturate the entire landscape with glyphosate. Everything dies except the Roundup Ready corn.
Soon, Roundup herbicide and Roundup Ready seeds took over the markets. Even if farmers didn't want to plant these GMO corn seeds, if neighboring farms were using Roundup, that Roundup would blow right over to their farms, killing their crops, forcing them to buy Roundup Ready seeds from you even if they didn't want to.
For seeds that are owned by Monsanto are there for one purpose and one purpose only: to raise the cost of food.
You had completely monopolized the corn and soy industry.
The United States is already the world leader in biotechnology, and we want to keep it that way. In 1991 alone, it was a $4 billion industry. It should reach at least $50 billion by the year 2000, as long as we resist the spread of unnecessary regulation. Unnecessary regulation.
And even though reports started coming out about how toxic Roundup was to humans, you didn't care.
There's many diseases that are linked to glyphosate exposure, including non-alcoholic fatty liver cancer are very close linked. A lot of kidney diseases, and then severe damage to the microbiome.
A dream vacation in the U.S. Virgin Islands turned into a nightmare for one Delaware family. Apparently, over time, the family was found in their villa on St. John Island, and the father was in a coma, and the two boys and the mom were suffering from severe seizures. EPA officials say a pesticide at their rented luxury villa may be to blame.
That Roundup has caused your cancer?
Yes, I am convinced, because it kills people out there too, Lee, not only me.
Do you think it's killing people?
Yes, it is killing people out there, and they should know that this product is not really safe to use.
In the 1970s, Monsanto used a company called Industrial Biotech Laboratories to test Roundup to get it registered with the US regulator, the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. The lab was caught up in a fraud scandal.
It was found that this laboratory was actually just doctoring a lot of the numbers, sort of cooking the books, so to speak, on these safety studies. And our regulators in the US went in and did an investigation and found out, how fraudulent these studies actually were.
And they based that on a study, a mouse study, where the 70 or 80% of the mice got kidney tumors. You had another, they brought it on Monsanto, and we got all of these documents from the Monsanto that show they were going to pay this scientist huge amount of money come in, and EPA let them reopen these, and he came in and claimed that he found tumors in the control groups, but he never showed those tumors to anybody. They threw out the study, and they said, but Monsanto had to promise to redo the study, and in 40 years they've never redone it. The whole thing was based on fraud from the outset.
Until eventually in the early 1990s, the EPA decided to just go along with Monsanto and overlegist. And in the final decision, in which EPA determined they would classify glyphosate as not likely to be carcinogenic, some of their own scientists refused to sign off on that.
But despite those claims, the manufacturer is still insisting their product is completely safe and has no links whatsoever to any cancer.
After the court verdict, the company's president, Scott Parch, released this statement, claiming more than 800 scientific studies and reviews support the fact that glyphosate does not cause cancer. Do the 800 studies all relate to cancer, or do they relate to other potential illnesses?
All types of risks and hazards and diseases, a wide variety, which we're required to do. When we obtain registrations from governments around the world, they don't simply ask you, does it cause cancer or not? They want to know all aspects of health and safety related to the product.
They had a guy called Jess Rowland, who was the head of the pesticide division, who sent a note to Monsanto saying, I'm going to kill this study by the ATSDR. I'm going to pressure them to kill the study, and when I do that, you guys need to give me a medal. So we had that email. And the judge wouldn't let us email the jury.
Why?
The judges are funny. We thought it was relevant, but the judge thought it was too prejudicial. We got a hold through discovery of communications from the White House that showed that President Trump had sent during the trial a message to leadership of Monsanto saying, we have got your back. And that basically is the way that EPA has been behaving. EPA, even before Trump, was working hand in hand with Monsanto for many years.
The ag committees in the House and Senate are highly funded, and the members are highly funded by companies like Monsanto.
Folks, everybody that I know thinks that I'm weird because ever since I was a little kid, I've drank nothing but water. I'll have occasional cups of hot chocolate, the occasional Slurpee. I think I've had one Slurpee all the summer. I do not drink any pop. I am strictly sticking to water. I've just never been interested. I don't think I've ever had pop. Maybe I've had like a couple sips. I've never had a full can of pop in my life. Maybe like 3 sips in my entire life. Maybe 5 at the most. You may not believe me. Most people don't believe me when I say this, but I only drink water. But the scary thing is, too, a lot of the water that you drink is also bad for you because it comes from the tap, most likely, and it's got birth control medicine in it, fluoride. So even water isn't safe nowadays. But it's a lot better than drinking pop. That's probably the worst thing you could do. Oh, yeah. And coffee, too. I just saw this comment from John Sarian. Yeah, I also drink coffee as well. A lot less than I used to, though. I'm trying to cut back on that because even that's not the best for you. Coffee's fine, but obviously, if you could just stick to water, that's the best. Spring water is the best water, too. That's what I've been researching.
For example, the agricultural committees, the chair of those committees will always be the biggest receiver, of chemical and big ag. It's going to be Cargill and Smithfield and Monsanto who are paying that guy's millions and millions of dollars over the career of that politician. And he's bought and sold and owned. He is a sock puppet for the companies. Everybody else in the division is working for him. They take his lead because their salaries hold up. He knows that he's preparing the groundwork so that he can have a soft landing at Monsanto or wherever else. He needs to do them a bunch of favors while he's still in office there. And then on the 20th year, he can go over and work for the company. But everybody in that agency is being schooled in that. So, the whistleblowers get weeded out and they get sent to offices in Dubuque where they can't cause any problems.
As Monsanto in the early 1990s, you were rolling in money, but it still wasn't enough. With a rap sheet like that, you would think your urge for poisoning people to get rich from it would be satisfied. But no, you had to take it one step further. And by the early 2000s, you had discovered something new. Something that would bring Roundup to not just soy and corn, but to everything we eat.
Folks, I just want to throw it out there one more time. This stream is more than likely demonetized or at least limited in monetization. So if you want to support me in my show, you could always send a super chat or stars on Facebook. I don't want to turn people off of the stream. Absolutely nobody is required to ever send a super chat, but it is something that absolutely helps me out. It helps me continue to run this show and continue to do this YouTube thing as a part-time job. So please consider, if you have the means, to maybe perhaps send a super chat. But that's the last time I'm going to mention it because I don't want to harp on it. And never feel pressure to send anything because nobody's obligated to. That's just an option if you want to further support what I do.
Pasta, bread, pizza, cereal, even oats have been contaminated. To where today, glyphosate, this incredibly dangerous cancer-causing chemical, has been found in 80% of the US population. Yes, you watching this right now probably have glyphosate in you, especially if you're eating the standard American diets.
Nutrition and the microbiome was a huge piece of why cancer was happening in a human being to begin with. We have done something to our food chain. We have done something fundamental to our environment that would lead to this massive reversal in public health in this country. And so we took the glyphosate spraying maps, but interestingly, they don't superimpose on our cancer death maps until you pull in the tributaries of the Mississippi River. And you suddenly realize that we're collecting some 80-85% of all the glyphosate in the United States into a single water system. And glyphosate is unique that it's a water-soluble toxin, which means it's going to travel through this whole water cycle that would move through the ecosystem. And now you start looking at the stories that are coming out of the dead zone in the ocean at the end of the Mississippi River. It's now the size of Rhode Island, and we're getting these massive, devastating algae blooms in the lakes in the Midwest all the way up towards Canada, and it's killing the fish life. 75% of the rainfall in the South is now contaminated with glyphosate. 75% of the air we breathe contaminated with glyphosate. And we're becoming a very unresilient and damaged species where our fertility is dropping. 1 in 3 males in the United States now infertile, 1 in 4 women. And so as fertility drops, disease rises, children get moved from 4% of the entire U.S. population with chronic disease in the 1960s to 46% of our children with a chronic disease now in 2018 here.
Stay dangerous, and this is how Monsanto poisoned the world.
We will depend on them for every seed we grow, every crop we grow. If they control seed, they control food, they know it's more powerful than bombs, it's more powerful than gas.
And I'll never forget
Again, he didn't pause a beat, and he said, we just paid $3 billion for these television stations. We'll tell you what the news is.
Wow.
When it comes to the media, really, it's not just the parent companies. It's also your corporate sponsors. It's also people that are putting out the ads. I mean, once this story actually aired, would have probably pulled their advertisement for Roundup, for aspartame, and all those other products that, again, aren't tested, but advertise all over Fox News. The reporters, they actually countersued against Fox under Florida's whistleblower statute. And as it turns out, under Florida law, they lost that lawsuit because it turns out it's not illegal to falsify the news.
You know, I've got a soybean in my hand here, and I can eat this soybean. It's very safe. Give it a try.
Wow.
If you're like me and you spent most of your life eating all this terrible food that shouldn't even be allowed to be called food because you didn't know any better until now, then like me, your gut microbiome is probably wrecked. Inside your gut is a whole ecosystem of gut bacteria that helps break down food while also regulating your hormones and mood. Eating artificial food severely damages your microbiome, which can lead to literal depression and a ton of other horrible things like obesity and cancer. Thankfully, it is possible to fix your microbiome, which is why you gotta check out Koso. In Japan, Koso is the name for a traditional fermented enzyme drink that people
Folks, please like the stream. Go like crazy. I'm pretty sure we have more people watching on Facebook than have clicked the like button. So please smash that like button. This needs to get shared out far and wide.
Drink for cleanses. This Koso drink took that ancient tradition and made it into the only 100% natural supplement on the market that has been clinically proven to improve your gut health because of all the probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, and enzymes in it. And this stuff actually tastes great.
It tastes like a sweet juice, but it also has an herbal flavor too. It's really enjoyable.
I think this might be a sponsor. Should we skip through this? Or are you guys interested in this? It looks like it picks right back up. It's not long.
I take this stuff every day. I love how it really wakes me up in the morning. It's got over 500 reviews from verified buyers. Many have lost weight and improved their skin because of it. The ingredient list is filled with 100 plus vegetables, fruits, seaweeds, and mushrooms.
Let's get 50 likes on Facebook, everybody. Please smash that like button. That helps in the algorithm. That helps more people see this. And I believe that everybody needs to see this.
That have been fermented for a whole year. It's non-GMO and made in Japan, and all you gotta do is take 1 tablespoon a day and you're good. Highly recommend, so scroll down and click the link below, or use code JAKE15 to get 15% off. Scroll down and click the link below now. Thanks to RS Koso for sponsoring this video. Roundup was always designed to be used early in the season so that it could kill weeds, and then it would get washed away by the rain.
And then in around 2006, they discovered that if you sprayed it on wheat late in the season, it would desiccate the wheat. In other words, it would dry it out. And one of the big losses for farmers in wheat is if it rains during the harvest season, you can't harvest it because it gets moldy. And so if you can spray a desiccant on it and dries it out and kills it, you can harvest it right away and it won't get moldy.
So suddenly, Roundup was being used throughout the season instead of just in the beginning. Whenever farmers were worried that their wheat, peas, canola, soybean, lentils, or rye were at risk of not drying out or getting moldy, they would spray the fully grown crops with Roundup to dry them out. Farmers would coat their crops with Roundup as close to as just 3 days before harvesting them, which meant unlike when they were spraying it early in the season, that Roundup was not being washed off by the rain. All of these crops that were being harvested for you and I to eat were still completely covered in toxic.
Hello, Kimberly. How's it going? God bless you. I appreciate you popping in the stream here. I hope that you're doing very well. I feel like I haven't seen you in the stream for a while, so it's good to see you, Kimberly. Hope you're doing well.
Roundup.
So all the wheat in our country started being sprayed that year in 2006 with glyphosate, and that's the year you saw this explosion of celiac diseases and gluten allergies and all of this stuff.
So if you were making billions before, you couldn't even count your riches now. You had taken Roundup to a whole new level, and life could not be any better. But there was just one tiny problem. People were starting to ask questions about the effects of Roundup on their health, and researchers were starting to connect the dots between Roundup and a long list of deadly diseases people in regular contact with the product were getting. So if you wanted to protect your product reputation and money, you would have to find a way to cover up the truth and fast.
What's up, Trish? How's it going? I appreciate seeing all the semi-OGs on my channel in here. God bless you guys. I hope that you're doing well. It says, I finally caught a live. Yes, it's been a minute since I've seen you too, Trish. I appreciate you popping in here. I just had like a mini voice crack. Yeah, I'm trying to get more consistent back into streaming. But yeah, this more than likely this stream has been demonetized. Um, Useless knowledge. I appreciate you for plugging my Patreon. Yes, I just did an interview with my 11-year-old cousin. It is available exclusively on Patreon and on my YouTube membership program. Just want to throw that out there.
According to you, glyphosate poses zero risk to humans when used according to the label instructions. So let's take a closer look at what the Roundup label actually says. Harmful if swallowed or inhaled. But it's fine to spray crops with it right before it's harvested? That's because even though the Roundup label clearly says Roundup and glyphosate is toxic, you've done such a great job at marketing it as safe and biodegradable that farmers believe it even if it's not true. And this was a very intentional effort. Over the years, you've paid scientists to ghost write research papers that claim glyphosate is safe when it really isn't. You've also paid scientists to contradict papers that say glyphosate is dangerous. You've even planted fake journalists to push the media into believing your narrative on glyphosates. Quote, we recently learned that a young woman falsely posing as a freelance BBC reporter at one of the Roundup cancer trials was in fact a reputation management consulting for FTI Consulting, whose clients include Monsanto. The woman spent time with journalists who were covering the Hardman v. Monsanto trial in San Francisco, pretending to do reporting while also suggesting to real report lines or points that favor Monsanto, end quotes. And you even made sure your executives buddy up with the regulators who are supposed to oversee your products, which might be the reason why the FDA refuses to test the levels of glyphosate in products like oat and wheat. And thanks to this all-out marketing war, you managed to fool the world into thinking that Roundup really isn't all that bad for you. And with Roundup and glyphosate as the last thing on consumers' mind when they shopped, the floodgates were opened, and millions of Roundup contaminated products began to flood the supermarket aisles. By the late 2000s, farmers were spraying Roundup on anything they needed to dry quickly. Wheat, lentils, canola, millet, oats, peas, even rye was dried using Roundup, which meant that not even wheat-free rye bread or pasta was safe. In 2018, independent researchers tested common supermarket products for glyphosate contamination, and the results they found were shocking. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Kellogg's All-Brand Buds, General Mills Wheat Chex, Mueller's Penne Pasta, and dozens of other pizza, crackers, and oat products in America and Canada contained significant amounts of glyphosates. It wasn't just corn and soy anymore. It was almost everything you could find at your local supermarkets. People everywhere were being poisoned by your toxic herbicide. And even though you had been making bank off of Roundup for years, the walls were slowly starting to close in. Slowly, people were connecting the dots to all the diseases associated with Roundup contaminated food. So it was time for you to pack your bags and get out while you still could.
It's finally official. Germany's Bayer is now the world's biggest agricultural chemicals and seeds maker. That's after it closed the purchase of US rival Monsanto on Thursday.
In June 2018, a German big pharma and chemical company called Bayer bought Monsanto for $63 billion. It was a huge acquisition, and Bayer thought they were acquiring an agricultural cash cow, because by then Roundup had become the most widely used herbicide in America, and they were able to buy the entire company for just $63 billion. It was a steal, or so they thought, because oh boy, they were in for a surprise.
Friday, a jury in San Francisco found biochemical giant Monsanto liable for former school groundskeeper Dwayne Johnson's cancer.
Because just weeks after Bayer's big win acquiring Monsanto, Monsanto lost its first landmark lawsuit, claiming that Roundup does indeed cause cancer. But luckily, Bayer just bought you out, so you didn't have to pay the $190 million in damages for that.
Again, folks, 90% of the food that you see in grocery stores is horrible for you. Always buy organic food, and I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I mean, I guess it's my parents who buy it, but I eat mostly GMO food, and I'm aware of that, because organic food is hella expensive. But if you have the means to do so, then definitely do so. Definitely try your best to buy only organic foods. That's kind of the main takeaway from this video. Don't drink pop, stick to water. If you can, stick to spring water, and try your best to eat only organic food, non-GMO.
for the 2 lawsuits that followed, it wasn't your problem anymore, it was Bayer's. And guess what? Since then, 18,400 other lawsuits have been filed against Monsanto. But again, not your problem. You had made billions poisoning the world's food supply with Roundup, but because you got out just in time, you get to walk away without a dime coming out of your pockets. And Bayer, even though they're still convinced, air quotes, that Roundup is totally safe, this has gone down in history as one of the worst corporate deals ever. And you want to know how they're trying to poison you next? Lab-grown meats. That's right. 2 companies just got approved by the good old FDA to sell chicken meat to a restaurant near you. And these 2 companies alone.
Hope this isn't a going green channel, says someone. What do you mean by that? Like a vegan channel? No, definitely not a vegan channel if that's your takeaway from this. If that's your takeaway from the video, then you ought to go back and watch the whole thing. Definitely not promoting veganism. There's nothing wrong if you're a vegan, but I'm not anti-meat. He's just talking about lab-grown meat, which is something that people need to know about.
Are loaded with nearly $1 billion in funding, all to convince you that their artificial meat is just as healthy and better for the environment. When in reality, that could not be further from the truth. Lab-grown meat is going to be horrible for you. It's filled with antibiotics, cancer cells, and a bunch of other terrible things they don't want you to know about. And we expose it all in our other channel, Evil Food Supply, that you can watch right now by clicking the card on the screen to watch now.
Alright folks, so that documentary is over. Let me know what you thought about that. That was really eye-opening stuff. Once again, I want to let you know, let's just check real quick to see how the monetization status is doing on YouTube. Not that I really care that much. I know I've been talking about it a lot on the video. I haven't been mentioning it because I really care about the money. I've been mentioning it because I want to show you what YouTube does to small creators. They would never do this to me if I have like a million subscribers. YouTube specifically, YouTube once again, I am remonetized. Thank God for that. God bless. Very grateful for that. And God bless the 54 of you watching. Like I said earlier, this show is getting so big, I can't even go anywhere in public now without people stopping me and asking me if I'm that kid who rants in his bedroom. I can't even go anywhere without getting recognized. I'm a public face everywhere I go. It's awesome to see this show is getting. God bless you guys. I hope you guys got a really good takeaway from this. Very important documentary. I once again want to share with you guys the name of this channel, so I'm not ripping up. If this will ever load, it's really slow. I'm breaking up. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I hope you can. Jake Tran. I want to give my credit where credit's due. Out to Jake Tran making this documentary. Okay, type a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. Useless knowledge is probably your best niche. You mean covering like health and food? I think so too. Such a horrible problem to have, Tyson LMAO. You're a celebrity. Yeah, I was just joking. I think I've only been like twice. Once after I went on the news for like 2 years ago. I was walking, a car drove by, and they rolled down the window and screamed, "We love you, Tyson Hockley," out of the window as I was just walking up to grab coffee. That's probably my most favorite moment I think I've ever had. I don't actually get recognized in public. I was just joking. I really hope you guys could hear me. We're pretty much ending the stream anyways. The takeaway, folks, eat organic food. That's the takeaway. Man. I don't even know if I'm live anymore. Trish, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. God bless you, Trish. Says, great content, little struggle stream. Yeah, I don't know about the internet. Maybe I'll use your $10 to reinvest in better internet. I appreciate it, Trish. Thank you so much for the 10. This is the first like actual big super chat that I've gotten since being remonetized. My mom gave me $1. Sam gave me $1. And then we got Trish with the 10 piece. Thank you so much, Trish. Yes, remonetized on YouTube. Thank God for that. I hope that I'm back. When I say thank God, like I literally mean thank Jesus for that opportunity to be remonetized. I don't do this for the money, but I mean, obviously, if I want to do this as a part-time job, I got to make some type of income. So I appreciate that, Trish. Thank you so much for that. I hope, did I break up when I was talking about the people who yelled, "We love you, Tyson Ockley"? I hope I didn't. Anyways, if, in case I did, I was walking up to McDonald's to grab a coffee, and this car drives by with their window rolled down, and they're kind of like looking at me, and then they would yell, or one of them yells, "We love you, Tyson Hockley," out of the window. That was so cool. I just remember how good I felt for the rest of the day. I don't know, maybe those people who did that are watching right now. And maybe they're debating if that was actually me or not, or if it was just some random kid. If you're watching this, yep, that was me on my way to get a coffee at McDonald's. William, thank you so much for the 10, man. Holy. William Gilbert with the $10 super chat. My man, William. William is a real OG, man. William's been around my channel since I believe like 1.5, maybe 2K subs. Says, oh, parrot character jumping up and down saying #1 fan. So it's a super sticker. William, I appreciate that, man. God bless you. Thank you so much. Hey, 2 back-to-back super chats just like that. Love you guys, man. You guys are the best fan base on all of YouTube. I was talking about this earlier in the stream. You guys actually have an attention span. Like, I was taking a while to start the stream and get into it. And you guys, my viewers were not really dropping. You guys were actually watching. So, that is incredible to see. That's why I love you guys so much. Because you have an attention span. Your dopamine receptors in your brain aren't absolutely fried like everybody else nowadays is. But yeah, God bless you, Trish and William. I appreciate those super chats, man. Thank you so much for that. Wonderful to see. Thank you so much, man. Really means a lot to me. Because, you know, if I want to do YouTube as some sort of little part-time job, I don't do this for the money, but I need to obviously make an income. That's just how it is, unfortunately. Trish says, support your local YouTube celeb with great content. I was just joking about that can't go in public thing. I walk in public, and nobody even looks at me. Nobody knows who I am. I am definitely not famous. I have a niche online. I have a little corner of the internet of people who watch me. But so far, I am far from famous. However, my face is all over the internet. And there is undoubtedly hundreds, millions of people who have seen this very face in front of you. But still, I walk out into public and nobody knows who I am. That's because the people who watch me are so spread across all of Canada. A lot of the people are in Alberta. A lot of the people are actually in Alberta. I think that's my most watched place. At least on Facebook it is. Alberta, and then Toronto I think is #2. Except at Crack Donald's, which isn't great food. I know, that was like a year ago. I don't really go there anymore. I used to walk up there and just grab coffee. Okay, I think we're done with the stream. We've reacted to this documentary. I'm very proud of the stream today. I'm very proud of what I shared with you guys. I think this is actually some genuinely good information that you guys actually need to hear. I am genuinely proud of myself for today's stream and getting this truth out there for you guys. So hopefully you guys could live a healthier lifestyle and make healthier decisions. Again, what's the takeaway? No pop and organic food. So stick to spring water. I don't even drink spring water, but just stick to water. And if you can, non-GMO food. Kimberly Sweet with the $10 super chat. Holy, man. Holy. Damn. We've just got 3 $10 super chats in a row. That's crazy, man. Let's make it a hat trick, she says. I've been a member for almost 13 months. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I love you too. God bless you. And yes, on my membership program, I did an interview with my 11-year-old cousin. I posted a little snippet of that. I think in the snippet, he was calling Trudeau an asshole. You guys definitely need to see that. That's on Patreon and members. I didn't release it to the general public because, you know, I'm not sure if he wants to be all over the internet. So I just put it as behind a little paywall. I hope you guys don't look at me weird for doing that. But I do want to be able to provide content exclusively to members as well because they are paying me monthly. So I want to make sure there is some member content in there as well. But I appreciate you. Member for 13 months. That's wild. Over a year that Kimberly Sweet's been a member on the channel. God bless you for that. And for watching. Even the people who don't donate, aren't members, still God bless you for watching, because, yeah, I could not do it without all of you guys watching. I know we're kind of taking like a unprepared for rant. Not a rant, but like a thank you speech from me right now. So yeah, I could not do this without you guys. I was not planning on going on this little monologue, but I am. God bless you all. I think I'm gonna hop off the stream though. We have already viewed the documentary. Yeah. I think we're gonna hop off. God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, thank you all for supporting me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Facebook. The most important thing is share this far and wide, because this documentary is something that needs to get viewed by tens of thousands of people. If you're just tuning into the stream, rewind and go back to the very start of the stream and watch the documentary that I looked at today. Again, the creator of that documentary is named Jake Tran. He has almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube. This is his channel right here. Shout out to him. God bless you too, Trish. Take care. Okay, everybody. I hate ending these streams, especially when I'm on a roll like this. But take care. I don't know how many times I said take care. Probably a lot. But you guys know the gist. Have a great rest of your day. And maybe I'll see one of you on the street sometime. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, bye everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the next one.